and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever, presented by the Sideshow Network. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence that just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Shawn.
And here we are again with two more amazing selections. Amazing in quotes. Sarcastic quotes.
Yeah, they're not good. It's funny. You know what's interesting is that there's a guest that we're working on, arranging for the show, and he suggested books, but they're good. But there's stuff that he likes, but the thing is, though, here's the thing: it's it makes me think to myself. It makes me think I like, because I actually generally do like a lot of the books that we do read. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're ridiculous, but it's
because we have terrible taste.
But he suggested a book that's I'm not as familiar with it, but you revere it very much.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And I found it very interesting because I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could be like, oh, I'm gonna take one of these books and just rip on it.
No,
it's not fair. It's not fair.
Well, it's also too good to rip on. Well, I don't know if it's too good to rip on. There are problems
because there's problem. I mean, it's probably something where it's like, oh my god, this is batshit insane. But you already know that going into it because the premise of this book makes it a lot of sense towards that. Mm-hmm. Whereas the stuff we're gonna read today,
there's no sense.
It is not meant for anybody to enjoy ever. But the thing is, though, here's the thing. But also, I kind of enjoy stuff like that. I feel like it's kind of my. I try to find enjoyment in those things.
Well, yeah. I mean, the second book that we're going to talk about today, I genuinely do like books like that.
Right.
They're stupid and they're nuts. But that's kind of, for me, that's the draw. The first one that we're going to talk about, I don't even know what the fuck happened in the first one, and it is a piece of shit. That's all I have.
Piece of shit.
Yes, and we have to say, so
you piece
how
of
about
shit.
you introduce the first one, and we'll talk about why we're talking about it.
Okay, so the first book is Terror Inc. Terror Inc. number 11 from May 1993. And this is the first part of the crossover For Love Nor Money, parts 1 of 6.
Yes.
Oh boy. Featuring the main character, Terror Inc., also Silver Sable and Cage. Mm-hmm. Because this is the early 90s, and basically what's going on here is this is a bunch of characters that are well, we gave these characters a series of their own, and we need to figure out something to do with them. We need to figure out something, a way that could connect them, and maybe somebody will buy their books. Because I'm assuming that... First of all, I don't know who the audience or what request would be for a character like Terror Inc. to have his own book.
Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, Terror. Well, we have to talk about that because I don't understand this character.
So basically,
the reason for his being. But I did want to just say before we get into it that the reason that we're actually talking about this is there was an article on Kotaku about how Marvel once had a run where basically a sex demon was the main villain.
Yeah.
And that story just happens to be the story in these books here.
You shared that article with me, and
I was like, obviously this needs to be in our collection. And Shawn was like, oh, but it already is.
Yeah, it already was. This is already a thing.
But we don't have the part where the demon himself shows up. We just have this. Do we?
No, we have stuff. There's stuff. This is the first part of the crossover, so and I actually we went shopping, comic book shopping.
Always a mistake.
Quick aside, so we went
always a mistake.
Well, we went comic book shopping this weekend because it just happened to be Heidi Ho Comics in Santa Monica. Which is
a great store.
Great store.
If you're ever in Santa Monica, you should go.
Yeah, Santa Monica is one of the oldest comic book stores, and I think it's the oldest comic book store in the country.
Yeah.
It's been around for 39 years.
Yes.
And so we went there just we're just going to go and just putz around.
Yeah, because they were like, oh, we're going to have a cool anniversary sale. Stop by. And we're like, oh, sweet. That means that they might have more, dollar boxes than they normally do.
Yeah.
That was our thinking.
We get there, and we got there, early because, just want to get there early just to get it out, have to start the day with it. And the girls outside who are they're like, hey, here's a ticket. You get 39 free comics.
Because you're one of the first 39 people through the door. We were like, wait, what?
Wait a minute. And the thing is, 39 comics, free comics a piece. A piece.
Because the two of us walked in at the same time and we were like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
So we got to go to the 50-cent boxes where we would have gone anyway and pick 39 free comics a piece.
Which,
and I, oh, man.
Here's the thing. I'm not, if I'm already going there, I'm not buying 30.
I wasn't going to buy 39.
I already had in my head that I'm not buying 39 comics in general.
We went into this because we've bought so many fucking comic books and we don't have the room to store them. But like, we'd gone in with this idea like, oh, we're just going to look. If we see something that like, you know, we have to have, we'll grab it. But we're not going to spend like a ton of money. We're not going to buy a lot of shit. And we walk out with a fucking Trader Joe's bag full of comic books.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because we're early as fuck to everything.
Yeah, because we're efficient people.
And we're always early. Like literally, we were always early.
And we are punished by by adding more stuff to our lives.
Well, we didn't have to take the 39 free
Yes,
comics.
we did. No, we did. We had to have. Because why would we? Because
we could have given it back and said, please give this to the next person who walks through the door.
No. It's just, actually, you know what? Now that you mention that, maybe we should have did that. Maybe one of us should have been like, okay, you know what? We'll split it. Because that would have made sense. And and that would have been fine. Because I would have gladly been able to buy the stuff that I needed. You know, that I found there that I needed, probably within like 20 comics.
Uh-huh.
You know, because I found a bunch of, a big run of Death's Head and stuff that I didn't have to have, and just a few other, odds and ends. But the rest of the stuff is just like, I was just like, oh, I got to buy more comics,
Yeah, well, we didn't have to. We just chose to.
But we did. And actually, and so one of them, tying into this, one of them was the another issue of
Silver Sable.
Well, Silver Sable for this run. I think I don't know what number it is. Who cares? But
is it the one where the demon bests Silver Sable and Cage by kissing them and giving them amazing orgasms?
I don't think
that's his fucking power.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But here's okay. So basically,
so anyway, let's go.
So basically, let me just do a quick explanation of how I understand Terror Inc. to be.
Yes, please do, because for me, he is a skull with
whiskers.
Bone whiskers.
Bone whiskers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has
Wolverine claws stuck to the side of his face.
And he has an eyeball like the Weird.
He does have an eyeball like the Weird, and he wears a fedora. So right now, we already have a problem.
And he has one hand that's metal and one hand that's not.
Uh-huh.
So basically, from the way I understand him, and I actually have, he debuted in another Marvel universe, in the Epic Comics universe.
Okay.
In a book called St. George, which I own.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. I actually sought that one out specifically because I was like, hey, I can find this because this is the first appearance of Terror Inc. Look at me. I am the richest man in comics.
We have a lot of first appearances of characters nobody cares about.
Yeah, exactly.
I have the first appearance of Vixen.
But Vixen isn't on TV.
Well, she is now.
Yeah. And she was a pretty big part of the
she was great.
Marvel DCU.
Yeah, she animated.
The animated DCU.
Yeah. But you don't hear a lot about Vixen.
Yeah, and you heard nothing about Terror Inc. Basically, Terror Inc. is a guy who, so he's like, fuck, I don't even know how to really explain it.
He's a dead man.
He's a dead man who was possessed by a demon bear. I'm probably wrong on this origin. Basically, he became cursed and became like this monster. And basically, his powers, he's like an anti-hero.
Right, because can't he, basically he kills people and takes their body parts for his own use?
That's the thing. I don't know if he kills people or if he just has a cachet of parts, because as we see this in here,
yeah,
and because what he could do is he can add these parts to his body, and it doesn't matter what he can add a piece, like an arm, a leg, or whatever, and whatever. Yeah. But if it's of a person that he gains whatever memories. Yeah. Or
so if this person is the best soccer player,
yeah, and
he takes their leg, then he is really good at soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand why anybody thought that was a good idea.
That's the thing, and I'm like,
why? Gross.
It's gross, and also who wants to read a comic book based on that every month?
Yeah, where this guy's just putting body parts all over himself. I mean, I could get it, maybe he can touch them and take kind of Rogue. Yeah. Where he could take their essence and their talents and stuff to use to his own to to put to his own uses, which would make sense. But this guy's actually putting like dead people's body parts on him, and then when he's done, he just discards them or puts them back in a bag. What does he do with them?
But that's the thing, because I don't really see what he does with them. He just kind of
he's like, I have this arm.
I have this arm, and then I don't have this arm, and like, does he put it back? Because you got to carry that stuff around,
right? And it's not. He doesn't like take off his own body part and replace it. Does he just stick it like?
But
because he always has two arms and two legs.
Here's the thing: is he's constantly like in a state of.
Is he like arm fall off boy who rips off his own arm?
Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
a real character.
But he's constantly in a state of decay. So I think like he gets what he gets out of the piece, and then it just kind of starts rotting meat.
That's disgusting.
Right. But they did a book about this guy.
Yeah, they sure did.
He had however many issues.
And now we're gonna read about it.
Ugh.
So, all right, let's get into it.
That was classic. Glad I did that.
Yeah, awesome.
So the cover is basically Terror Inc. jumping. He looks like he's jumping Silver Sable, and
it looks like they're in a jungle.
They're in a jungle, and he's jumping them. Silver Sable and Cage
charging. And...
Silver Sable for some reason has a really silly purple gun.
Yeah.
Like why is it purple? I don't know. It looks like the Shockwave gun from Transformers.
Yeah.
If you guys know what I'm talking about. Is it Shockwave? I think it's Shockwave.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's jumping them, and I don't like I think Silver Sable looks awful here.
Well, it doesn't help that she's the only one who's looking away from the action.
Yeah.
Like Cage and Terror Inc. are both looking like off to the bottom left, sort of, and she's just like, I'm gonna look over to the right.
Yeah, it just looks weird.
It does look weird. It looks like she doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
So
we start off, and the story is called Mercenary Tendencies, because whatever.
Yeah.
And it starts off with Terror Inc. in a fight with
a demon guy.
Who is this guy?
I don't know. That's the thing. That's why this book to me was really annoying, because all right, so here he's fighting with some demon guy, and they're yelling at each other, and the demon guy's shooting him.
Yeah.
Right? But then all of a sudden, him and the demon guy are just calmly talking to each other while watching a monk pray. And I don't know how the fuck we got there. And I reread this 3 times, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. So you guys just shot each other?
Because this guy's some sort of mercenary. I think there's some sort of there's some mercenary guy, and I think they're both here for the same reason, to get some sort of task.
Yeah, from this monk who's really upset. So they're talking about this monk who's praying. And then Terror Inc. meets with the monk, and from what I understand here, is he wants him to go after this talisman. It's from the carnal snake god or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever
carnal serpent.
Carnal serpent. And this talisman apparently makes people fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it made these monks fuck. Is that the whole point? He's it made me do horrible carnal things, and now I'm against God.
It was responsible for Sodom and Gomorrah, I think.
Yeah.
I get the impression here.
And there's fucking and lots of fucking. There's actually people drunk.
There's fucking, and then there's a guy, there's a man with a mustache, building something.
I feel like he's because this was weird to me. I was like, is he building something, or is he hammering something? And there's another guy who looks like he's painting.
Yeah, it's an art project.
Yeah, it says what it says is he's looking for this. The serpent is an erotic artifact, an ancient totem of splendiferous power. It's been blamed for everything from the obscenity that forced God, the creator, to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, to the ecstasy that inspired the emergence of Europe from the Dark Ages. So basically, it's responsible for all the fucking, but all the creating.
Yeah, it's very important.
Okay. Whatever.
So
Carnal serpent.
And here in 1993, it's important that
Terror Inc. Go get it.
Terror Inc. Go get it. And he can offer $1 million American for this.
Yeah.
Which, what the hell does Terror Inc. need the money for?
Well, I think he doesn't even take it, though. Isn't that the thing?
He offers the money.
And he's like, no, pray for me instead.
He says something about my asking price is considerably higher. I keep a piece of the past at my closest hand. Oh, he just wants a prayer. Okay.
This book is stupid. Like, I can't even say anything funny about it because it's so fucking dumb.
And then there's this guy, and then
there's the demon guy, and here's the thing that I didn't understand about the demon guy, because he has a pentagram, like, branded into his chest, so I thought he was...
Hellstorm.
Hellstorm, because I was like, oh...
And it's funny because...
Right?
Well, no,
like, he's got a fucking pentagram, he's all shirtless, he's son of Satan. Nope, different dude.
He's talking about the Dark Soul, which is what is a part of Hellstorm.
So is he supposed to be just a very weird-looking Hellstorm?
I don't know.
Fuck this book.
He looks like Wolverine and Hellstorm and
like had a baby.
Asuka.
Had a baby that like loves to tan because this guy's like orange.
And he's like Hulk Hogan.
He's like John Bonner orange.
And Akira from Street Fighter. I mean, he's all these things rolled into one, and it sucks.
It's dumb. Let's just say this is stupid. So,
and I own this.
You do own this. So then I guess, like, Monk guy is sleeping.
And then, like...
And the demon comes, and he was like, oh, I'm going to give you,
is this the demon?
I think it's a demon, right?
Because he's like... Here, what's he saying? What did he say? And the mercenary's fee... He's like... Yeah, I think it's, like, the succubus...
Well, that's the thing. It's the demon. He's like, I'm going to give you both succubus and incubus... to enjoy this. And this guy's like, he looks really, really excited, but apparently they're going to fuck him to death because then he starts screaming no.
Yeah.
So that's what I took from that.
Yeah, he's a passion. Passion seizes your heart, brother, but what a way to go.
Yeah, so
he gets fucked to death by demon spirits.
Death by snoo-snoo.
Death by snoo-snoo. Pretty much.
Death by snoo-snoo. So that's what happens to him.
This is good.
R.I.P.
This is a good book.
Monk guy. I guess Terror Inc.'s not going to get his prayer.
Yeah. Well, you can always, go to a Catholic church or something. Be like, hey, somebody owes me a prayer.
Yeah, you can like have a mass said for anybody, really.
You can literally have a mass.
You literally can have a mass said
as a Catholic, as a person who grew up Catholic, like the process to get a mass for somebody
is like you put a name in a book.
You literally just go, hey, we got. It's like booking a comedy spot at here at the Improv or like a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, just call and ask.
Just call and ask. Hey, you got any spots? Great, let's do it.
Yeah. So Terror Inc. goes to like talk to some guy to try to find out where it is, and then we cut to Silver Sable. So
she's in Egypt, I think, right?
I think so. She's in Egypt, and she is also hunting down this part. I guess this thing's been split into parts,
right? And she's been hired to find it as well.
Yeah. So she's kicking people in the face. She's not really doing much of anything.
She's beating up some guy. That's like dudes,
but she gets it. Right. So then,
well, did you miss the part here? Hang on.
What part?
So what happens is But she
gets the thing and she kicks the guy in the face.
She gets kicks a guy in his face, and the guy's like, I came so close to getting it, but I missed it.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
So I need to kill myself. So this dude kills himself, and she's like, all
right.
Well, wonder why everybody's killing themselves over this thing, or whoever the.
Apparently, if you possess this thing and then like you can't hold on to it, it's kind of like the Precious in Lord of the Rings. Like you kill yourself.
Yeah.
So then we're on a mountain with Terror Inc. And
what is it?
I don't understand what happened here. I was like, what the fuck happened? There's no segue. There's no narration box. There's
he goes to find it in like the Arctic Circle, which is funny because he's got like a nice it doesn't really matter.
He looks like Captain Cold.
Yeah, he looks like Captain Cold with his like a
nice fluffy hoodie.
Looks at the weird but Captain Cold. He's got his weird eye, and then he's got like his whatever.
Yeah, he's kicking people in the face.
And he's beating up some Eskimos. And
but I just the way this is set up is very frustrating because there is no segue. There's no little thing that says in Antarctica or Arctic Circle. There's nothing. It's just like you literally turn the page and all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like the last time we saw the last time we saw Terror Inc., he was talking to a buddy of his in London, and all of a sudden he's here and there's literally no segue to tell us.
He goes from London to beating up Eskimos.
Exactly. And you're like, wait, but we were just with Silver Sable. And now we're with Luke Cage.
Now we're with Luke Cage in a mine somewhere.
No more fucking segues. I think he's in like New Mexico or something.
Okay, and he's there.
Because that's where ancient artifacts always fucking end up is goddamn New Mexico.
And then he's fighting some guy. He's got to find his piece.
And he finds it. And the guy's like, but I've literally lived in this mine protecting this erotic thing because it gives me the hardest boner. And now I can't have it anymore. I explode things.
And he explodes
And
things.
no one's told that guy about Viagra, apparently.
Well, he's been in the thing. Like, nobody,
been in mine.
He's been in mine. Nobody's going to go down there and be like, hey, mine guy, blue pills, boners.
Yeah, you don't need this.
It's 1993, too.
You don't.
So.
Oh, that's true. You don't need a weird snake thing to get a boner anymore. All you need is 2 separate bathtubs on a beach.
There's no beaches in New Mexico.
And you have to join a dad rock band.
He's like, can I open for David Duchovny? Yeah.
So that guy kills himself, and Luke Cage gets his little piece.
So he gets his piece, and then we go back to the Arctic Circle, and Antarctica, or whatever the fuck
Wherever
it is.
the fuck. There's snow.
And Terry Inc. finds a guy with, like, the staff part of this thing. Apparently there's a staff portion of it.
You, like, put it together and then put it on a stick and, like, wave it at people, and then they have massive orgasms and die. I'm assuming that's how that works.
Orgasm stick.
It's the orgasm stick.
Yeah. They sell those at the porn stores. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they're called.
You
They're
go
called.
in
Excuse me. May I have an orgasm stick?
When somebody calls you a fuck stick, that's what they're talking about. This right here.
You can get that at the pleasure chest.
Yeah. So apparently, the way that Terror figures out what's going on with this guy is he takes off, like, since this guy has basically been, like, frozen, because this guy it's just been, he walked down to the Arctic,
yeah,
and froze to death.
Yeah.
So, like,
he was like, I'm gonna go get some smokes, and he just kept walking.
Yeah, and Terror Inc.'s like, well, I gotta see what this guy's seen, so I'll take, like, his face and, like, put it on my face, like, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And he puts it on his face, and basically he goes back to see how
I don't know, monk orgy. I don't know what's happening.
How this guy, which there's a weird drawing here. It looks like his nose, like he lost a piece of his nose, or just the way it looks like a Doonesbury character.
Yeah, I don't understand. The art in this book's kind of rough. In some places.
Yeah. So, anyways, he figures out that this is, this guy walked out into the snow because you want nobody to have this thing because it's so precious.
It makes his dick hard.
It makes his dick hard.
He was like, I have to go be hard alone. And then he froze to death.
And basically, Terror
doesn't get stiffer than that. Ha ha, wah wah.
He's like, I have the forever. I like the flush.
I'm assuming that if this was a morning zoo, there would be like a flush after that.
If this was a joke on Married with Children, there'd be
a
flush.
And everybody would clap, and then Al would put his hand in the top of his pants.
This is like the Married with Children of comic books, which there were Married with Children comic books.
Yes, I've seen many of them.
Yes, I would not want to read any for the show.
No, I won't pick them up
because
you know what? The show, I remember watching it when I was younger, which I actually really enjoyed. Married with Children, and I like it there. I don't need it in a comic book.
No, I don't need it anywhere. I don't need it anywhere else other than where it was.
Yeah, where it was great.
Seasons 1 through 5. I don't want to go. And once they brought the kid in for that season, that's when I kind of tuned out.
Poochie? I mean 7.
Poochie 7.
Yeah.
So
now I don't even know what the fuck's happening.
So Terror's like on his
Why does he have bone whiskers?
I don't, because that's what the way this monster looks that he became. But he also is wearing like a nice shirt and tie.
Yeah, like he looks nice. He's got a nice tie. He's got a belt. Nice. He's trying to be fashionable, but yet he's got these like weird bone whisker things like jutting out from the side of his face.
How do they cosplay this? Just wear nice.
Has anyone ever cosplay this?
Well, why would they?
Bro, that's the thing. Why would anybody cosplay this character? You could just wear like that. We can get you bone things.
Yeah,
stick out of your face.
Yeah. But he's saying
then it would be really weird to walk through a goddamn crowd.
But other than his head, he looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. Looks like a nice. I mean, it's a nice, weird mixture of colors, but it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a suit. Looking good.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know. He does his thing. Then there's a boat. Is he on the boat?
He's on the boat getting information. He's getting intel. And he figures out that basically one of the pieces is being held by Luke Cage, who Luke Cage is on a train reading,
minding his own fucking business.
Yeah,
I just say.
Well, he's minding his own business, reading a Clive Barker novel.
Yeah, well,
which actually it's not reason why this makes sense is actually there's a lot of weird references in this book.
Yeah.
Here that first of all. Well, I'll point this one out real quick. So he's reading a Clive Barker book, and this is around the time that Marvel and Clive Barker worked on. There was a line imprint called Razorline that Clive Barker wrote, or basically was like curated stories for, that were comic books. Like there's something called Ecto Kid, and there was a few other ones. I don't know if there was actual Hellblazer stuff, or Hellraiser books. Maybe there was, but there's a few of those things. Like you probably have seen these,
probably.
When we're going through our books and stuff. But it's just something that was not in the Marvel universe, but it was, something that he curated and whatever. And so the fact that he's reading a Clive Barker book makes, a lot of sense. He's reading The Great and Secret Show, which that used to be the name of the Walsh brothers.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, this was The Great and Secret Show or something like that.
I always thought it was The Big and Secret Show, but maybe it's The Great.
No, maybe they got this. And also the other reference here that I saw, and that it's a very throwaway reference, is one of the it was when Terror is reading, thinking, looking through the guy's eyes,
Frozen guy's
eyes, and he's looking back to this scene about this guy being in the bar, talking about this thing, and there's a guy in the background wearing a shirt. It says Free Leonard Peltier, which, if you are familiar with your late mid-90s rock, there was the video for the song Freedom by Rage Against the Machine was about Leonard Peltier, because he was an American Indian guy who was the way, I think, please forgive me. I don't know the information. I don't research stuff. I just know.
Yeah, we don't research shit.
I just know that I look at that shirt and I go, oh, that's the guy
they were talking about in that Rage video.
Rage Against the Machine video.
All right. So anyway, Luke Cage reading his novel.
Luke Cage
mind his own fucking business in his train car, just being like, I'm sleeping, having a good time. And then fucking Terror Inc. apparently has the ability to produce.
No, he doesn't.
No, what the fuck's happening here?
So what he did, he says it. He took a mutant. He has an arm of a mutant that can create sulfuric acid.
Gross.
And he attached it to his arm, to his person.
And then he burns through Luke Cage's compartment through the bottom.
Yeah.
And pulls him out.
Yeah.
And then they have a fight under the train.
They fight under the train.
But of course, as we are always reminded, steel skin.
Steel skin.
So impermeable skin. Skin. He lives, obviously, and he's fine. So I guess Terror Inc. then gets the piece of the.
So here's the thing: he's got this bag full of arms,
right?
Which somehow he manages to keep during this fight.
Well, wait, see here, he doesn't have any arms.
Okay, wait, listen.
Because they rot and fall off, right?
Yeah,
yeah, which is what just happened there.
So what he does though is he puts on the arm of an archaeologist, apparently, so he can appraise the artifact. Which, to make sure it's the right thing.
But I am confused because right in this picture here, he literally has no arms there, except there's one in a bag and there's one falling on the floor. But then in the next panel, he has an arm that has a metal hand, and I don't know where the fuck that came from because obviously here he has no arms.
I know. No, I'm confused.
And he always keeps that metal hand.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm a little bit confused by that.
I don't know. And apparently this archaeologist had it was ripped to shit.
Oh yeah, every arm
this arm is just insane.
Every arm he puts on is like Popeye's arm.
Yeah, it really
it's
is.
ridiculous. He's not putting on.
No, I'm not going for any scrawny motherfucking arms. No weenie arms.
He's literally it's like he's going. He sees The Rock at the gym and he's like, hey man, can I borrow that?
Yeah. He's like, that's all he does is just follows The Rock around chopping off limbs.
The Rock, he says, anytime The Rock is in a movie and he's doing a different role, and he's like, well, now this movie knows how to swim because he's in Baywatch. So now I can just use his arm to swim to.
Wait, is he going to be in Baywatch?
The Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I had no idea. This was
The Rock is remaking Baywatch.
No,
with
I had
Zac Efron.
no clue. This is news to me. With Zac Efron.
Yes.
As Mitch?
No, The Rock is Mitch.
Oh shit.
Because The Rock has the bounciest breasts.
Amazing.
You didn't know this?
No,
I could have sworn I told you this.
No, you did not tell me this.
Because I was showing you.
This is amazing.
I was showing you stuff with The Rock and his veiny thumb. And he's like, I'm eating.
Yeah, I just thought he was eating.
Oh well.
I don't know what The Rock does. I assume The Rock is just constantly awesome, and he's just looking.
Clearly, he is because he's remaking Baywatch as Mitch Buchanan.
I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, and then like he's
because
got like
it's as shitty as Baywatch was, it holds a special place in my heart.
and like I think David Hasselhoff's gonna have a cameo in it.
Man,
You know, but because they're taking all the characters from the Baywatch canon and they're just replacing them with hotter, newer people. Wow. So like
amazing.
you know, there's Mitch Buchanan, and then
there's
there's
now The Rock.
somebody's playing C.J. Parker, but it's not, you know, but Pamela Anderson wanted nothing to do with this apparently.
Yeah,
Which, you know,
I don't know why I could have gotten her a paycheck.
she doesn't need a paycheck. She's fine.
What else is she doing?
I don't know. She's raising her kids. Did you know her kids are like way old now?
Well, yeah, they were little like years ago. So
Yeah, I know, but now like
which
now they're
stands
like
to reason that
now they're like
old.
adults. They're like it's like Madonna's kid who's like a model now.
Wait, which one?
Lourdes.
Is she really a model now?
She just became like a model.
Oh,
She just got signed, and everybody's like, "Man, you got even those like clickbait guys like Madonna's daughter. Look at her now." You know, kind of those things. You know, yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
nepotism. Fuck that.
Well, I mean, you know, she's got.
I hate that. I hate famous people who have kids who are like, "Oh, now my kid's famous too." You're like, "Fuck you."
Well, because they
Fuck
have
you.
they have access to those.
Well, that's the thing. But it doesn't mean that their kid's actually good at what the fuck they're doing.
What if they are good?
Well,
What if the Rock's kid becomes good?
What if the Rock's kid is a fucking disaster?
Oh, then we'll never hear of it.
What if the Rock's
then the Rock?
kid-
Then the Rock.
What if the Rock has one of those like kids who like has 2 left feet and he's like,
What if he has a kid that's like, do we talk about Kevin kind of kid?
oh shit, no. I don't want that.
And then the
I
Rock-
just want a kid who's like really bad at standing. Like he can't walk.
That'd be great. The Rock should remake. We need to talk about Kevin. But the ending of the movie,
he should not. No one should ever remake that movie. No one should ever read that book.
But the movie would only be like 5 minutes long because it'd be like, this kid sucks, and you'd throw him into the sun. He'd be like, yeah.
That's true. That would end so much differently.
If the Rock is remaking that movie, that this is the reason why I should never pitch anything to anybody, because I'm afraid I'd be like, hey Rock, I got an idea.
There are only 2 books that I have ever read in my life that have made me so despondent that
I already know one of them. No,
Yeah.
wait. I think
There's 2, and you know one of them. You know both of them. So that made me literally want to crawl into a ball and just wait for death. And the first one was The Road, because holy shit, I will never read that book again.
The Rock should make
I will
Road
never
too.
watch that movie. No. And then the second one is we need to talk about Kevin. That one made me want to stab myself in the face until I was dead.
What about Handmaid's Tale?
That one just made me angry.
Okay.
But then at the same time, you just look at it and go, oh, yeah, no, we're going there. I can't wait to be an Econo wife. I'm looking forward to it.
But you'll never get to see the remake of Baywatch.
What the hell? I need to see the remake. I need to see Mitch watch.
Anyways, so the Rock is in Baywatch, and
Guys, that's more important than this book. So then,
so the Rock is in Baywatch, and then basically Terror Inc. figures out that
he's still on he's on a train, and now we're on a boat.
Yeah, he figured out his train shit. We're done with Luke, and then he's on a boat now. Oh no, he's on a helicopter.
Right.
Because
he took a pilot's arm who has a really fucking tough tattoo.
Right, but listen, just basically what happened was he snuck himself onto like a giant shuttle,
Sure.
like a helicopter shuttle deal, and he decided to take over the helicopter, and he puts on an arm of a pilot because that's how he knows how to fly the plane.
Yeah,
or fly the machine.
I'm glad your arm is the thing that actually knows how to do things, not your brain.
Yeah, I know. It's a very flawed premise.
It really is.
Because what if your arm? What if his arm? What if the arm also only knew how to masturbate?
Right.
Instead of like it was really good at masturbating.
I feel like iZombie actually perfected this premise, because that's basically what it is. It's that she's a zombie and she eats brains, and then she knows what they know and know how to do, which makes sense because that's where the knowledge center is. This is kind of like, well, your foot knows how to kick. Put the foot on. Like, it's a little bit flawed. So iZombie is Terror Inc. Just better.
Yeah, just like way better.
iZombie is the 5th generation iPhone of the Marvel universe, or
of Terror Inc.
iZombie is the DC book, but you know what I mean.
Anyways, so Terror decides though to fly, since he has access to this helicopter that apparently I think is going to this place anyways.
Sure.
He decides to fly it into this boat where it just happens that Silver Sable is here. Because she's there to deal with the rest of the the bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck her point is.
She's
just
there,
on a boat.
Well, I think she's there to figure, to get to the next piece of this puzzle.
Everybody needs to take in this book, we have every form of transportation available.
Right.
You have trains, you have boats.
So right now, Terror Inc. has 2 pieces.
Walking.
And Silver has the other one in her purse. And as that happens,
he crashes into a big, the dining room, I guess, has a big window, and he crashes into it, and she just starts shooting. And then that's where we end. Them fighting. Yeah,
they fight, and then they're on the boat, and that's it.
Yep.
And then the story continues in Cage number 15, and then Silver Sable, and
whatever.
That's it. Yeah, that's it for Terror Inc. number 11 from May 1993. I like he's got a letter column.
It's called Dismembered.
Memo Dismemberandums.
Okay. Yep.
And there's people writing in here oh, this is a good book.
Those people are wrong.
They're very I don't know.
Sorry, people who wrote into this book, but
people
wrong.
Used to write very long letters.
Yeah.
This is a lot to say.
I know. That letter's really long too. About Terror Inc. Okay, but in fairness, how long did we just talk about Terror Inc. for? We can't really rag on these people for writing a letter when we just spent all that fucking time talking about it.
Well, we talked about The Rock, and
that's so much more important.
That
because now I have something to look forward to.
You do. There's a silver lining in all this. So Terror Inc. So would you read the next issue of this?
You know what? No, I would rather read the Kotaku article again about the crazy sex demon than read this book.
Yeah, me too.
But no, this is dumb.
Part of me is intrigued by finding just this crossover.
Oh, have fun.
Because I'm just trying to figure out, I just want to read something about this character and just be well, is this really cool? Does he do something with Wolverine, or does he do something with Spider-Man? Because that means you have to with these books, because nobody's going to read these fucking things.
No.
But no, probably not.
No.
Anyways, all right.
Yep.
I just got all of a sudden really sad for a second.
It's because you were thinking about Terror, right?
Because I was thinking about I don't have anything else to say.
And now you're sad.
No, I'm sad. It's broken my will.
You've run out of words, and now you're sad.
It drained my soul.
Maybe that's part of his power. Did he take your soul?
Mm-hmm.
Did he cut off wherever your soul is? Is that in your pinky? I'm assuming.
I still have a pinky.
Well, then he wasn't here.
I got off a toilet seat he sat on. Anyways, all right, we'll be back with the next book.
I didn't know The Rock was doing a Baywatch.
How did you? I could have.
I don't know. I didn't know. I have no idea.
I could have sworn I mentioned it before.
Well, this is how
I think I told you went her.
This is how I feel when I was I could have sworn that you knew about the Pleasure Chest having a comedy show. Because I'm I swear to God, you know this. So, now that's how I felt.
All right, we're back here on Worst Collection Ever here on Sideshow Network. We are back with our next book, and it's a timely book.
Yep.
Because Bitman v Superman.
Soup or Man.
Bitman versus Soup or Man.
The most homoerotic superhero movie of all time.
Yeah, no kidding. Dawn of what does it even need this name?
No.
What does it? Why does it even need that name?
You know what's really frustrating? Excuse me. What's really frustrating is Batman v Superman is coming out on Thursday. Mm-hmm. We're gonna see it on Thursday because we hate ourselves.
We're just gonna get it out of the way.
What's really frustrating is on Facebook, I follow Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman, DC Comics, whatever. And they post these pictures, and if you go into the comment section, it's just full of people who are man, I can't wait for Batman to win. Man, I can't wait for Superman to win. And I'm you guys, have you never seen a goddamn fucking movie? They're not gonna. You know what's gonna happen? They're gonna fight each other, and it's not gonna be a real fight. They're just gonna fight each other, and then they're gonna realize they're being played, and then they're gonna, team up and fight Luthor, Doomsday, whatever. That's what's going to fucking happen. No one's going to win in a fight between Batman and Superman.
That literally happens, and even the comic books that you read, you dumb idiots.
I'm what the fuck? if you've never read anything in your lives? Why do you think this is actually going to happen? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I seriously doubt I'm wrong.
Did you hear apparently they found out that there was a study done, I don't know, some asshole research things. Some people looked at things and apparently determined that Superman is richer than Batman.
Wait. Are we talking about like his Fortress of Solitude? And
no, like I don't know.
Money wise or just like
money-wise.
Possession?
Money wise.
Wait.
US dollars wise.
How?
I don't know. I didn't read the article. I just know that this is the headline. It's like Superman's richer than Batman.
I think I'd like to see that article because I would like to know what they base that on. Because it is said in the DC universe that Superman licenses his trademark, the S, and donates money to charity that comes in from it.
Okay.
Well, so maybe he keeps some of it. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I just read this.
I don't know what his overhead is.
It was a clickbait article, and apparently IO9 has something up about it.
I'll have to look.
So the experts are on it.
Well, here's the thing. Superman keeps his overhead low.
He does.
Bruce Wayne, not so much.
He has one suit.
Yeah. Got one suit, lives in an apartment, regular apartment.
Yeah.
Lives in the middle of, the Arctic.
Doesn't have a car.
Doesn't need a car.
Doesn't need a car.
Doesn't need a car. In his human persona of Clark Kent, dresses like a normal dude, probably bought that shit at TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
Low overhead. Bruce Wayne, on the other hand,
doesn't have much need for groceries except when Lois comes over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, on the other hand, I don't know, 19 Lamborghinis, many houses, buildings, wears nothing but Armani. So yeah. Plus all the shit in the Batcave. We're not even talking about the suits and the car and the computer. So I could see how that would work.
Yeah. The electrical bill is a lot.
Yeah.
Unless if he owns his own generator.
He probably does.
Which is probably why
at the same time he still has to pay to keep it up.
Which is why the Batcave has so much water in it.
That's actually, if he didn't take advantage of the hydroelectric abilities in the Batcave, he would be an idiot. So, but anyway, so we're doing this book.
Okay, so we'll just say the book we're doing. We're doing The Adventures of Superman. This is actually the first one of these particular titles that we've done.
Batman is not in this.
Yeah, Batman's not in. Actually, yeah, remarkably, Batman is not in this.
I know. I was like, whatever.
We'll just do something straight Superman. Keep the lovers apart.
They can't see each other till the wedding day.
Yeah. The Adventures of Superman, number 458 from September 1989. And you're gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so the cover is just. Okay, it is Jimmy Olsen, and he is on his knees doing the Willem Dafoe platoon pose.
Yeah.
So, but his arms are like all wobbly because they're extending like he's like
Stretch Armstrong,
like he's Gumby or Mr. Fantastic or whatever, and Superman is behind him, just kind of like. Oh, with a very like concerned and like look on his face, and that's all. There's no text, nothing.
Yeah, and I feel like you wanted to do this just because you think the cover is ridiculous.
The cover is ridiculous, but everything in here is ridiculous.
Everything in here is ridiculous. Yes, you are.
There's actually one of my favorite one of my favorite moments here too is in this book. I just thought about this morning in the shower.
All right, so we start with everybody from the Daily Planet going to the gym together.
Because apparently, whoever's in charge of the Daily Planet is like Mr. Burns and makes everybody work out.
In the morning. Unless you're Homer, then he'll just pay for your gastric bypass.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Who is this? Is this Cat Grant?
Cat Grant.
She apparently has a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And like...
Kid
Grant, and then Jimmy. I don't even know what the fuck Jimmy's wearing. Can we have a conversation about this? Because we're going to the gym. Cat Grant looks, it's the 80s. So, there's like, this is like Death Spa for a comic book. And if you haven't seen the movie Death Spa, I highly recommend you watch this movie because it is the most amazingly horrible piece of shit that I think I've ever seen in my life. But it's great because of it. Anyway, so Cat Grant, she's in her leotard with like the leggings, like the underwear over the leggings thing, but Jimmy is also wearing his underwear
Jimmy's
over
dressed
like
Jimmy's
a full-length unitard.
He's wearing a full-length purple unitard with green underwear
and green leg warmers
and leg warmers over his feet.
And then, of course,
and the thing is because he looks. Rey Mysterio actually wore something similar to this on one of the pay-per-views, in the wrestling pay-per-view.
I bet it was a shout out to this book.
I think. You know what? Maybe it was
because he does do like the characters.
Yeah,
yeah, he dresses up like them sometimes.
So maybe, you know what? If I ever meet Rey Mysterio, I'm like, hey, remember this book?
Was this a shout out from this match?
Just like how Terror Inc. was a precursor to what was it? iZombie,
yeah.
Or there's something else I said it was, but
yeah.
I can't remember what I said like 5 minutes ago.
It doesn't matter. It's Terror Inc. Nobody cares. So, but Clark, of course, literally is drawn like something out of Don Draper's Wet Dream, because he's like, just the most masculine of dudes. He looks like, you would put him in an advertisement for like, oh, hello, honey, I'm looking for.
Would you like a cup of sex?
Yeah. He's the guy from every 50s ad when father comes home and stuff. But he's like,
where's my ottoman?
Oh, I'm waiting for my pipe and slippers. Haha. Like that sort of dude. So he's like, he's got a sweatshirt and sweatpants on, like a normal human. And like Jimmy's just like, yeah, posing. Because I guess he likes cat.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's how you get women off. You dress like a purple leotard man.
I don't know. I mean, I would. My attention would definitely be grabbed if I saw a dude walking around like this, but I wouldn't assume that he liked ladies.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, he's just like into dudes, and that's cool. Or he's bi, also cool, but whatever. So like,
Jimmy Olsen is bi. You've heard it here first.
Yeah, that works.
Jimmy Olsen's a lot of things. Now he's black.
Oh yeah, in Supergirl,
he's a woman in the DC universe in the movie.
In the movie, and in Supergirl, he's black and like really handsome.
I know. I can't. There's a lot of problems I have with the Supergirl show. The fact that Jimmy Olsen is handsome and competent is not.
But that's
is one
the
of
thing.
them.
Jimmy Olsen is supposed to be like a huge, dorky nerd.
Yeah.
No, he's a goddamn model in that show. He's fucking hot as shit. You're just like, you can't be Jimmy. You're not ugly enough to be Jimmy.
You're like way chill and like, all these good things. You're like
suave. Ladies love you. That's not Jimmy.
Yeah.
So like, and then Perry's there.
Superman's on Instant Messenger. What the fuck?
I know.
I'm talking with Clark via ICQ. Whatever.
It makes him look shitty because he can't even like come over. Like, you can be anywhere in, like, the flash of a second, and you can't, like, literally come talk to your cousin for 5 minutes. But anyway, so everybody's getting there. Jimmy's trying to hit on Kat. Perry's here, because everybody likes to work out. Apparently, they're all going to an aerobics class together. And Clark is doing his best to make it look like he doesn't know how to do this.
Can't they just go and do other things? Like, do they have to all go and do the same bullshit? Which all they're doing is literally just stretching and moving, and everybody's like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
Like Clark's like, I'm pretending I can't do this. Like, he looks like he's breaking his spine in half.
He really does. Because I think Kat even says like, oh, Clark, you're doing not so bad, or you're not even breaking a sweat or whatever. And he's like, oh, and then he pretends to like break his spine or whatever.
Paralysis.
like they're doing like leg squatties. And then as Jimmy's doing this and he's like trying to make Kat like notice how hot he is, something starts to happen where like his body is like falling over.
Yeah, like
his fingers are like elongating and stuff.
Yeah, he starts getting like,
he's like, wait a second,
like things start getting weird, and he feels like it's starting to really hurt.
Yeah,
and he can't understand why he feel like he's stretching, but stretching beyond his
beyond where a human body should stretch,
beyond where to stretch, and why and he can't stop it. It doesn't feel like he's feeling like he has to stretch.
Right. And so he's like, oh my God, it hurts. And then all of a sudden he just turns into like a fucking ribbon of a human.
Yes.
And he like fills up the whole room and he's like, help
Which,
me.
to be honest, is probably the most terrifying thing. I'm surprised these people, like, this isn't talked about in DC things for the time where like, oh my God, do you remember that time Jimmy Olsen liquefied his body?
He became like a sheet.
He became a sheet. And also, too, and they address this a little bit later, and they don't really answer it, is why it is that his clothes
stretch with him.
Yeah.
This is a good question.
Right. Because it's basically his entire clothes and everything just keeps, that just keeps, up with him. So he
just like, he's screaming and he's like, oh my God, please make the pain stop. But he is just like,
and he's causing death spa because
He really is.
people are benching and they're like dropping giant weights.
like on themselves. He's breaking walls. Like people are, it's bad. People might get killed. And then he wraps himself around Cat.
Well, because Cat's like, what does Cat do? Cat's like, because everybody's like yelling at like something. It's like, what's going on, Jimmy? Why are you doing this?
Yeah,
and he's like,
please
I
do something,
can't help
Cat.
it.
And she's like, I can't do anything. And he just like wraps around her and like almost suffocates her. And Perry and Clark have to like pull him off of her.
Well, something happens where he mentions that he's going to kill her and he stops.
And he's like, ah. And then he like, let's go. And then he's like, I have to get out of here. And he just like,
well, here's my favorite thing. Here's one of my favorite quotes here is like, so Clark goes. Well, first of all, Clark goes to the whatever and gets his Superman costume.
Right, to the locker.
To the locker room. Thankfully, nobody's in there.
Right.
You know,
everybody's too busy watching Jimmy like, I don't know, become a fucking sheet.
Yeah, and so Jimmy's like, all over the place, and somebody is like, he's like, well, we need to get at the cops or something, and he's like, no, because the cops will come and shoot him with a bazooka or something to that effect. Which evidence later, he's right.
Yeah, well, he's right. I like that. That's the weapon that they go to, though. They're like, we can't use anything else. We're not going to get a sniper to like shoot him in the head. We're gonna get a bazooka. We're gonna shoot it in the middle of this fucking city.
They're gonna show up in this.
This
athletic
is Vice City, motherfucker.
This actually literally sounds like Vice City meets DC Universe, which actually would be a really fun game.
Oh, why isn't that a fun game? Oh my god, why doesn't that exist?
Like just running around like
if
Batman's...
I could play GTA like Gotham City, and like you could just be Batman and like rip people out of their cars and like run shit over.
No, you would be Batman. You'd be like somebody like a criminal.
Oh,
or
and
like
Batman's trying to get you?
And Batman occasionally will find you, and like all the superheroes will find you and just running.
So that's when you're instead of a star level, you have like a bat level.
Or just like a superhero, like different superheroes show up and you're running by them, and like maybe you go to like a movie premiere and you're killing people there. Oh.
That's fun.
And you're blowing, and you see Jimmy on the thing and you shoot him with a bazooka and everybody, and then you got the whatever.
I want to play that game. Could you steal the Batmobile?
You could steal. You just throw Batman off the Batmobile. I need this.
I need this.
Just driving away and you see Batman just running after you.
Hey, he's like waving his arms on the street.
You could pick up a hooker in the Batmobile and just have sex.
You could hopefully in the GCPD headquarters you would be able to find a double-headed dildo.
Oh, there already is one there. It's in Bullock's desk.
But you can find one in San Andreas, and then you can use it to beat the shit out of things.
Actually,
I don't know if you've ever
they should make a Gotham game based on the show Gotham.
On the TV show?
But like Grand Theft Auto.
That'd be awesome.
And you're just one of the jerks that runs around and you just murder every because that's what the show is.
That's the show.
The cops ain't going to do anything. The cops
are always dead. Actually, this was quite last Monday's episode was a banner episode because not one cop died. And I think that's the first episode since like maybe the pilot. Where like 9 cops didn't get mowed down.
You might have to actually go back and see.
I'm going to like watch them all because now it's on Netflix. And I feel like I'm going to go back after this season is over and do a cop kill count to find out how many cops died per episode.
Yeah.
Because they should do nothing but go to police funerals.
Literally, the show should be nothing but police funerals. Like just 50 hours of police funerals.
And then while that's happening, you're in the background in your little car, like running shit over.
Just running around like, this is a police funeral. Fuck it.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a good game. I really want to play it. Anyways, so Superman tries to, Superman shows up.
He takes him outside.
And he's like, oh, I'm here. And then he's like, and then Jimmy's like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm a goo man and I'm flying. And
please save me. This really hurts.
Please save me. I'm in pain.
I keep expanding. I can't make it stop. Superman, please.
So Superman goes to grab him. But basically what happens is every time he gets touched,
he expands.
He expands more and just kind of runs through.
He's like Taffy at this point.
Yeah.
It's like if you go down to the waterfront and you watch some dude make taffy in one of those like saltwater taffy places, that's what Jimmy is right now.
But he's like just pouring through Clark's fingers.
Yeah, it's gross.
Or Superman's fingers, and he's like, Jesus Christ. And it's funny because Superman, at multiple points, he's like, Superman, help me. Why would you help me? And he's like, I can't. It's actually really,
it's really
awful.
It is. And then like, he starts falling.
So he starts falling.
And then all of a sudden he starts contracting. So he's just like a normal human again. But then he hits a car and he becomes a fucking blob.
Because what happens is he keeps adapting. His body keeps adapting to situations that will allow him to survive.
Mm-hmm.
If he's falling and Superman's not there to save him, he turns into a piece of meat.
It looks like silly putty.
Looks like silly putty, and he bounces off some guy's vintage car, which of course it has to happen.
Smash.
It's like, hey, my vintage car, because ham-handed stuff, and he starts bouncing, and then Superman's just yelling at people.
I do love this picture though. There's one panel where it's just really close up on Superman's face, and he is beautiful.
He is beautiful.
It's like lovingly rendered, like the most beautiful man you could think of. Like, I don't know how long it took to draw this, but it's like over the top how pretty he is in this panel.
He's like, hang on, wait, I have to be beautiful.
Like, wait, look at me. I am beautiful. Fuck Jimmy. It doesn't matter.
And so, so Kat shows up with her kid, and she's like, what happened to Jimmy? You can help. And he's like, Jesus Christ, lady.
He's still fucking oozing around the city.
And like he's telling these people, he's like, look, get back. And they're like, I want to help. It's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Superman do it.
He just did try to kill you,
Yeah.
So,
so I don't know what happens.
So what happens is he hits. Okay, so what happens here is Jimmy he's just destroying everything, and he destroys a billboard.
He knocks a billboard down.
Okay, so he knocks a billboard down, and it's a billboard for Victory Deodorant as
pitched by Booster
Gold. As pitched by Booster Gold. And then Mr. Bull, he's like, Jimmy's like, I keep destroying anything. And Clark's like, well, look, it's okay. We're trying to help you here, but in this case, fuck it.
Yeah.
And he takes the billboard and throws it into the space.
Well, thinking like, I don't really like Booster Gold anyway.
I never liked that guy anyways. I'm like, hey.
Stupid dickery.
Like, you literally are just like, whoever wrote this, I think it was John Byrne. Dan Jurgens wrote this. And Dan Jurgens, that's got to be an inside joke, because I feel like Dan Jurgens doesn't hate Booster Gold. But,
yeah. So he I don't know why he doesn't just put his billboard down. He literally just throws it into space. He doesn't put it on the roof that it just fell off of. He doesn't set it down. He just throws it into space.
Throws it into space and hits the
Fuck
satellite.
Booster Gold.
It would be great if at that moment it goes up to the space into the JLA satellite and it just flies by. And he's like, hey. Booster Gold's just like, hey.
You know what would have been really funny? Because if this was done in the animated universe, I feel like that would have been in there.
Yeah.
It just would have flown by and everybody been like, huh. And cut back to what's going on.
Well, I'll do Booster. You'll join the Super Gold when they have ads in space, and then it just flies by John. He's like, shit. So cop does show up.
The cops do show up, and of course he does try to shoot Jimmy, and Superman's like, no shooting.
He tries to shoot it.
He does.
Because here's the thing: because the cop's like, look, I don't care what you are, but you're creepy. Kill. Because he's like,
he's coming right for us. Personal danger, and he just starts shooting him.
Because Jimmy's like, I'm trying not to hurt anybody. Oh my God, I'm a human being. Please don't kill me. And he's like, kill. He's like, you ain't gonna hurt no one.
He's like, this is how we solve problems in this country. Shoot.
And Clark, and Superman's like, no, we'll do it this way. And there's more bouncing and yelling and
stuff. And so eventually Superman wraps him up in his cape.
So okay, here's the thing: Superman wraps him up in his cape. He basically spools himself around Jimmy around him like you would a spaghetti on a spork.
Yeah. Spork?
Spork.
Spork? Are you eating spaghetti with a spork?
Mm-hmm. So you get meatballs on there too.
We do not have sporks in the house. This is an FYI. People are going to think that we have nothing but sporks. We live like monsters in our trash pile of a comic book apartment.
just comic books and sporks.
That's all we got. Comic book sporks and cats.
You know what? That sounds like a good life. Anyways, so Superman unspools him into his cape pouch, and so Jimmy's all gooed up.
Yeah.
In this pouch.
Yeah. It looks like Superman's taking out the trash.
Because he's taking out the trash in a Superman bag, and as fly by, one of these these window washers are sitting here, and one of them just goes, "Will you look at that? Sort of makes you proud to be American, don't it?" Wait,
What the fuck?
like what? What Superman, the alien immigrant who is carrying a man, a goo man in his cape. And he's just like, God bless America.
Bald eagle flies by. That's a bald eagle. Just in case you didn't know what that sound was.
This guy probably has a lot of low standards for what makes him feel good to be American. He's probably like...
He like walks by some dude on the subway peeing and he's like, proud to be an American.
Just
salutes.
He's just saluting, the cheeseburger combos,
He's standing. He can never leave like a fucking 7-Eleven because he's got to salute all the fucking cheeseburger combos.
He's got to salute all those Slurpees. It's like, makes you proud to be American. It's like, sir, are you going to buy something?
Shit, if I push this button, like, what's supposed to be cheese comes onto my nachos. I'm proud to be an American. And
can we just get like a still of Superman carrying Jimmy and just have Lee Greenwood playing over it,
Why isn't this shown at the I Love America montage during the Super Bowl? It should be.
That'd be funny. Just like all these great American things, and then also just Superman just carrying a writhing Jimmy in a bag. It's okay. You're not gonna. You know what would actually be great is if it was Jimmy carrying Superman on the forklift.
Oh yeah, that was good. That guy would probably also be proud to be an American.
He probably feels inspired. So Jimmy, so he figures out Jimmy's calmed down, and Jimmy, because basically his heart rate chills, and
then he like contracts.
Yeah, he contracts,
and then human size again.
And then we get some bullshit with Lois and Perry. Yeah. Perry, for some reason, develops rosacea.
Yeah, Perry. So and also his eyes don't open. This whole comic book, he's just like squinting, so angry.
Yeah, there's some bullshit here, and then he takes him to a doctor. Superman takes Jimmy to a doctor.
Puts him in a Zorb.
Puts him in an orb, and he's kind of basically they're like what?
It's a Zorb. Push him down a hill.
Basically, what they're trying to figure out here is why this happened to Jimmy, and I guess they get like I don't understand what these are. They get elongated man's physical charts. What are those?
I don't know.
Like, are they just like
his records? They're like
Sue just offered it up too, because he's like, the way he's like, well, thanks, Sue did me. Like, she just went, you don't need a
Yeah, and there's no HIPAA violation.
Yeah, no HIPAA violation or anything. There's like, this is what he's got.
Like, Jimmy's really not happy. He's like,
well, no, he's
because what sucks is this guy there. He's in this orb and he's yelling at this doctor who has this crazy beard, and he's like, "But I'm exhausted. You won't let me sleep, and you won't let me eat. Like, please, can I relax or something?" And he says, "No, we can't let you calm down after your horrible ordeal."
But that was the whole point. If he calms down, he won't be all gooey.
Right, but he's like, we need your body chemistry to be as close as possible to like when the event happened. And it's like, but let the motherfucker sleep. Jesus Christ. So he hasn't had any sleep since yesterday and all this trauma, and Superman's just like, no problems. I got medical records when he comes back, and Jimmy's like, oh.
Yeah, Jimmy is not having it.
And Superman doesn't care. Yes. I think that's also the part that kills me, is because he's like Superman, and he's like,
He's like, And he also asks why the clothes don't stretch.
Yeah.
He says, actually, as to your outfit, there are some aspects of this whole scenario that I still cannot fathom. Okay, good job, buddy.
Well, did he figure out exactly what was wrong with them?
Because he says something about it being basically, we know already that since we read this book, there's a virus.
Well, yeah, that he thinks he got from Superman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because it says, let's see. Oh, it appears Jimmy's problem goes much deeper. Jimmy's ability to stretch is caused by this unknown virus, a virus that actually attacks and restructures the DNA helix.
Oh, boy.
And
they're like, was it like a cold?
Yeah, and he's like, well, you're sick, kind of.
Take some Zyrtec and get out of here. Yeah, that's basically it.
And it's like, he's really upset. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out. There's something here that I wanted to look at. And Jimmy's like, oh my God, I'm some kind of freak. He's like, no, we're going to fix you.
This is a really awful body horror kind of
Yeah,
like,
and
event.
he's like, and Superman's
Which
like,
actually I kind of appreciate being in a Superman comic.
Yeah.
I kind of appreciate because it's like a very like David Cronenberg kind of movie.
Yeah.
You know?
And like Jimmy's like, oh my God, don't leave me. And he's like, don't worry, Professor Hamilton will help you. And he just leaves.
Because the professor has to do gene surgery on you.
Yeah, and he's like, no, but I'm like terrified. And Superman's like, you're gonna be okay. And he just fucking leaves him there. He doesn't even like wait for him to get like unconscious, nothing. He just fucking leaves him. And he's like, you
think
contracted.
Superman would stay because he performs all sorts of surgery anyways?
You would assume so, but no, he's like, no, I gotta go.
Because Superman's pretty much a doctor as it is.
He's like, I hate to leave Jimmy, but I can't do anything. And I hate to leave.
I hate to leave Jimmy, but I'm an asshole. I just can't. I have to be an asshole. I gotta be a dick.
I have to be a dick. If I'm not a dick, it's not a Superman comic. So Dr. Hamilton's like, you got this about 8 days ago. Did anything happen then? And he's like, yes, that's this day Superman came back from space, and I jumped into his arms, and he hugged me.
And we get a picture of that.
It literally looks like Jimmy is Superman's son, and he's like picking him up, being like,
hooray,
I'm so glad
here.
to see you, boy. When Jimmy is like a grown-ass man. But apparently Superman brought back some sort of horrible stretchy virus from space.
Space AIDS.
And now Jimmy has space AIDS. And Superman, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Where does Superman go?
I don't know.
Did he just leave?
Superman has no.
Because then we get like a thing. The last few panels, there's somebody saying, "Thank you, computer. How good to know long at last that Superman we mine forever." So apparently, this has some in the next Action Comics 645 or whatever. Whatever. This is where something happens where it has to do with Superman, whatever this bullshit that's going on.
Yeah, Superman has no respect for quarantine procedures because we have seen this before, where he has been like when he in the Lois Lane comic, where he literally picked up a tree from another planet and just came and planted it on Earth, and we're like, you're gonna be good.
But he's a doctor. Yet he's able to Was it what was the thing with the boy in the spine?
Oh, that's there. I don't think we've read that one on our show.
We haven't, but
there was a Superman comic that I was reading that had something to do with like some kids in some little town had a Superman fan club, and then they would like make up adventures for Superman to do, like in their heads, right? They're just like that. We're going to draw a comic book about Superman, and that's our little story. But something started happening where whatever they would draw would actually happen to Superman. And eventually Superman comes to the little place and he finds out that there's like an alien there, an invisible alien who only Superman can see, who happens to be the same age as these boys. So he's part of their Superman fan club.
Yep.
So he was like telepathically controlling Superman. But the reason he was doing it, and we don't find this out until literally the last panel, is because one of the boys was in a wheelchair, and Superman is going to help him with his microscopic surgery abilities so he can walk again.
Whatever.
That's a book that exists.
Superman being a doctor is...
Well, apparently he's not one in this comic. He's just like, fuck it, I'm going to leave Jimmy, who's literally terrified, exhausted, starving. I mean, the doctor's pretty much torturing him at this moment.
Yeah.
And he's like, you'll be fine. And he just fucking leaves him there.
But he's like, man, I really like Jimmy, but I hate him.
Yeah. He is my human gigantic son.
Yeah, no kidding.
My grown-ass son that I pick up and like, Jimmy, it doesn't matter that I've been in space. Like, on other planets.
I'm surprised
God knows what I'm bringing back to a fucking closed system.
Look, I'm surprised that this scenario has not happened every fucking year or often enough to everybody Superman knows.
I don't know. Yeah, well, I think it had happened to a bunch of people that Superman knows, because he always brings weird shit back from space, and he has no respect for any sort of procedure that would prevent that from happening.
Yeah. He is not taking good showers.
No, he's not. He doesn't even like wash his suit.
No, he just keeps it in a bag.
Yeah, gym
or in
bag.
a pouch in his cape, or like a.
That's where he keeps his regular clothes.
Oh, that's right.
In a hidden pouch in his cape.
Like there's not just a giant lump in his cape. Well, he's like, oh no, my watch falls out. God damn it, I hate Superman. All right, well, I'll probably
Will
hate
he
it.
win against Batman?
No, I hope he dies. I hope they both die in a truck.
No, I think it's just going to be a hardcore porn for the last 40 minutes. All this very homoerotic advertising is just going to be like, finally, we get to kiss, and they do. And then they have sex.
At the end, there's just a bunch of tonguing.
Blah, blah. That's what it's going to sound like.
Batman v Superman. Well, there's going to be an R-rated version where there might be titties. Yeah, I don't know.
Whose titties?
I don't know.
Wonder Woman? I don't think you're going to see Wonder Woman's tits. You might see Henry Cavill's tits.
Maybe they go to a strip club afterward or something. maybe there's a scene where, like, that's where Aquaman is. They don't see him in the water. He's just at a strip club.
That
he just shows up. Jason Momoa's like, "Hey, bro, what up?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I gotta go," and he's like,
maybe that's why Batman and Superman are so angry.
That he gets to go to a strip club and they don't?
Because they're usually heterosexual men, but for some reason they're extremely sexually attracted to this other man. And they don't know how to express it, so they just beat each other up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's actually what the plot of this movie is. Like the hidden subtext of this movie.
If it's PG-13, is there going to be the word fuck in this?
If there is, they're going to give it to Batman. You know that, right?
I hope it's just I hope it's just
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to me.
Will it be a cameo from somebody?
I don't know what's going to happen when I see this fucking movie. I don't.
Could it give us the cameo to say fuck?
Cut to Jen in the audience. Fuck! And then it just cuts back.
You could be in the Superman movie. Fuck! One lucky fan. Actually, that would be a great contest.
That would be a great contest.
They don't tell you what it is, and it's like, well, you're going to say fuck. It's like, I don't know.
I'm on board.
It's like if you got the one person who's like, I don't want to do that. It's like, you running. I'll do it. Whatever.
What would be even funnier is if it cuts away. It's like this gorgeous movie with like all this, high cost special effects. It cuts to like a very grainy old iPhone footage of me just be like, fuck, and then it cuts back.
Send us in your auditions. Fuck. That's good enough.
Good enough. Hire that woman. I don't know what's going to happen.
No. This may be the last episode of our show.
I may die during the middle of it. I may. Just as an FYI, I may actually die during the middle of this movie.
I don't want you to die. I need you. You're my wife. I don't want you to die.
Well, shit. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be great.
No, it's not. It is not. I can guarantee you it is not.
What if I really like it?
You're not going to.
No, you're right.
You're gonna walk out of it kind of. You're gonna have that thing in your head that I have, where you're like, well, did I like it? I mean, I think I liked it. Yeah, it's good. It's good. And then you just watch it again, and again. You go, this is really bad.
Yeah.
And then you get really angry because, I mean, Man of Steel, okay, whatever. This is a Superman movie. They're trying to get it right. New thing. But Batman v Superman has been going on for fucking years.
Yeah. I feel like we've been talking about this since I was 6.
Yes.
I feel like this
it actually feels like it has.
It feels like this, like, we've been talking about this stupid movie forever. And, like, I don't know. All I know is that you texted me when you found out Ben Affleck was going to be Batman, and that I replied with "fuck you, that better be a lie."
It was like your reaction reminded me of the scene in I think I've talked about this before, but the scene in Knocked Up where Seth Rogen and so Katherine Heigl finds she's pregnant. She invites Seth Rogen to dinner.
Yeah,
and they go to the. Actually, it's my other favorite scene. Where he's like, Geisha House, 8:00. Like he could afford it.
Yeah,
could afford it. And he goes. So they go, and he's just like, she's like, oh, and he thinks he's like, oh yeah, she wants to have sex. She likes me, It's been a while, but yeah, And she's like, okay, I got something to tell you. I'm pregnant. And he just goes, fuck you. And that's exactly how it felt. Like just like a real immediately after. It's like Ben Affleck's Batman. Fuck you.
But I will give Ben Affleck credit. He looks good as Bruce Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
He does. Which also makes me angry, just as an FYI. 'Cause I'm like, God damn it, you're not supposed to look good as Bruce Wayne. Now I'm mad.
Now you're mad because you like Ben Affleck for stuff?
I hate, here I have, I'm very internally conflicted about Ben Affleck in general.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't really have any effect on how I should feel about this movie.
Yeah.
So
So anyways, well, this is we'll just wrap up the show. You can find us on Twitter. I am at Angry Hero Shawn, SHAWN. Also, my Instagram is the same, and my Tumblr is theangryhero.tumblr.com.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield at Twitter and Instagram, jenstansfield.tumblr.com, and jenstansfield.wordpress.com.
And if you would like to email the show, you can send us an email at Shawn@SideshowNetwork.tv. Got a nice email this week from a new friend of the show, Russell Bragg. And he has a podcast.
DC Comics Presents
show. It's the DC Comics Presents show, but I'm
on iTunes it's hold on, I can find it.
Yeah, I'm blanking because
on iTunes it's listed as something different, which I have in my phone.
Actually, I think I have it too. Because I listened to it and he talked about one of the books that we talked about.
I don't know where it went.
Talked about one of the books that we've talked about on our show.
It's like Russell Bragg's comic.
I'm looking at. I got it right here. Russell Bragg's Comics and Superhero Podcasts.
Yeah.
And Bragg is with 2 G's.
So if you want to hear somebody who actually does research and like knows facts about things, I would recommend listening to that podcast.
Yeah, he does.
Because he does. There's like facts and shit in there.
He's like facts and shit. And he's doing a good job on that.
Yeah, and we're just like, fuck it.
We're like, Terry Inc. I guess I should have read about that. Why has he got bone face? I don't know.
This podcast is a trash fire. You know that, right?
You know what it is?
It's a goddamn trash fire every single episode.
It is, and we're blessed.
We're so lucky to be able to create this trash fire every week.
But so thank you for listening, folks, and we will catch you again next time.
Bye.